what's up, y'all? Back again with another edition. We got some breaking news today. Look like Mr. P.DIDDY house has been raided, and man, the news just broke that he's been involved in a raid today. Earlier today. No, matter of fact, right now is happening. We got breaking news, breaking it here on Trilogy Vision. Like I say, once again, I'd like to thank y'all for joining in and rocking with me. We're going to get right off into it because this is, we had allegations. Now we getting down to the meat and potatoes. We're getting down to the meat and the potatoes. So if they go in there and raid, so that means we really got something. They put in a raid, that means we got something. So let me let's get right into it. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're not gonna waste no time at all. We jumping right into this. Please believe me. Yeah, we jumping right into this. Oh yeah. Stop. I'll scratch. Yep, we're getting right into it. I'm gonna share my screen here. Give me 1 second. What? Why are you scratching me? Ow! Stop. Okay, so let me share my screen. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna see what I got. Y'all gonna see what I see. What? Chill for a second. God damn it. Okay. Where we at? Alright here. Alright. So, boom. Here we go. Let's jump right into it. Alright, give me 1 second. Stop. Okay, let's go with it. Let's get right on into what we got. P. Diddy. So this is a raid here of. Let's get right into it and let's see what's going on. Article reads. Nope. Go back. Okay. Diddy home in LA and Miami has been raided by federal agents. So, it looked to be pretty factual. Doesn't look like it's any games, and this is real. And it's in real time. Whew, man. Guess this guy done really got himself against the wall this time. So, yeah, I wonder what kind of evidence that they have now to put him on the spot like that. Because for them to raid your home, I'm going to tell you, they got to really have you. They got to really have you. They got to really have something on you. Because they would not be getting no okay to go in your home if they didn't have no real evidence on you. So they got some real evidence here. And to have this, whoo, what? Why you scratching me? All right. Go on the sofa. Go get on the sofa. Go ahead. Go. Stop scratching me. So they gotta have some real evidence on your ass get this. So let's check out. Let's look like some footage here. Let's check that out.
Blockbuster reviews.
Oh man, I hope they don't fuck it. Alright, let's go back. I hope they don't block me, because I know they will block your ass for playing stuff. Okay, I guess this article should be cool.
Incredible costumes and
Let's kill the volume on it. Okay. Yeah, man, they in his home. So let's see what we got. So what we got there look like they say, they blocked off a whole entire street. I guess just to get to him and to his properties. So let's read and see what we got here. Okay. Look, I'm about to. My dogs are going crazy. Y'all give me a second, man. What do y'all want? I'm finna take y'all back inside. I'm finna take y'all back inside. Y'all wanna go back inside? You wanna go back inside? Come on. I'm finna take y'all back inside. Alright, I'm gonna play this. Let me play this. The other we've done another video. Alright, let's get that. Play that.
You're guilty by association.
They're called bionic boomers. Seniors once riddled with debilitating arthritis pain, given a new lease on life thanks to Dr. Paris's unusual method for relieving stiff, achy joints.
The transformations have been absolutely incredible. I'll never forget when I saw Greg jumping on a trampoline when just days before he couldn't get out of bed and thought he was going to live the rest of his life.
So, we're back.
Breaking news right now, we're following the Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Field Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this. They are gathering information, talking to the folks who are there on the property, as well as going through the home. It wasn't as heightened as we saw just 10 minutes ago when they actually got onto the property.
Well, definitely a little bit more relaxed as far as the investigators that you see right there. And now we're getting more of a count. You can see that there's 4, maybe 5 people down there, 6 total, that they have removed from the home. A couple of them still in cuffs.
We don't know what exactly they're looking for, who they're looking for. But again, this could possibly be linked to a sex trafficking investigation involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive. But as you heard from Haley right there, she believes, and she's been hearing, that we do not think that Sean Combs is on that property at home right now. He may be in New York as this raid is being conducted. But we do know from our reporting that over the course of the year already, just as early as March this year, there have been several lawsuits filed against Sean Combs. So clearly this could be part of it. We are not sure at this point.
Buffy, they looking for your monkey ass, Negro. They looking for your ass. They looking for your ass. They looking for your ass. Where could you run? Did you leave out the country? P. Diddy. Brother Love. I know 50 Cent is gonna have a field day with this one. 50 Cent is gonna have a field day with this one. If y'all want to read along with me, look up at the screen like we always do. Okay, at 1:42 p.m., that's Pacific time. Okay. TMZ has obtained extra footage of cops on the scene near Diddy's LA area home. And it looks like officers have shut down the entire area with helicopters swarming up above. There are at least 2 choppers in the area and a lot of police on the ground. We already seen that video. They got a timestamp. Man, Diddy. Po Diddy. Po Diddy. Oh, Po Diddy. Oh, you gonna do your little Harlem, your little Harlem shake, man. Take that. I ain't glad that they cracking down on this guy, but I'm glad they cracking down on this guy, because this dude has done some vicious shit to some people, man, and he act like his shit didn't stink for a long time. Now that everything is closing in on you, you know, whatever you do, you know, that actually comes back to you. So I tell people all the time, be careful what you do, what you say, because the universe do not play. But anyway, moving along. At 1:38 p.m. Pacific time, a rep for the Homeland Security Investigations earlier today, Homeland Security Investigation, HSI New York, executed law enforcement's actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and other local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. So, do you see this video? Yeah, we watched that video. Okay. At 1:29 p.m. Pacific time, law enforcement sources tell TMZ this case is being handled out of the Southern District of New York. Whoa. Reports say this appears to be tied to a sex trafficking allegations which has been levied against Diddy in recent months from different plaintiffs. So, boy, man. So, I know Reggie Wright, over on Born First, he always indicated that this was finna happen. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta give Reggie his props. You know, he was a cop, he know a lot of people, and he gets a lot of information beforehand, and he puts it out there. Just be real with you. Call a ball, strike a strike. Like, yeah, he do that. I gotta get to him. Gotta get to Reggie on that. He said that it will be a raid, and he said that there are some tapes that are possibly on those properties, somewhere on those properties. And as y'all notice, they said that the properties was in the business name, which is Bad Boy Fumes, which is part of Bad Boys Entertainment, but also it was registered into one of his kids' name, one of his daughter's name. So I guess he figured like, okay, they can't touch that property. That ain't my name on it. Shit, don't never believe that. You know, I always thought that if you had a business or something like that they couldn't go after that, but apparently so. They damn sure went after it. Not only did they go after it, they went there and raided 2 properties, not 1, but 2 properties of Diddy. Who is this? Yep, look, and that was King. That's wait, is that both his sons? I see Justin. I don't know. Is it? Let's see. Fox 11 has posted video that appears to show several individuals in handcuffs near the property, and a couple of them appear to be Diddy's sons, Justin and King Kong. So that's these 2 right here. Uh-oh. What y'all got to do with it? They already indicated y'all in some shit already. Of bringing, having girls y'all age when y'all was underage to parties, in the vicinity of Diddy, and said that things was going on. And it's a lot of speculation going on that, that's how he got a lot of the underage girls around or whatever. But that's for the law enforcement to figure that out. And their parents, But, I mean, the parents can't be responsible if you had a child at that age going to meet with somebody at that age, then they turn out the daddy show up and whatever. He's Puff Daddy or whoever. And, fame would change a person and have people doing all kinds of crazy shit. Fame and money. And motherfuckers would do anything. When I say anything, definitely they'll do anything for money. I don't know about everybody doing anything for fame, but pretty much anybody will do anything for a fucking dollar. I mean, it's just crazy. You'd be amazed what somebody do for a damn dollar, man. Yeah, and that's the way that society made it. They built the world to generate to where you gotta need money, which you don't need it in reality, because everything is naturally grown and everything you need is on the earth. I mean, if you think about it, everything is here on the earth that you need. So, but they set it up to where they can just gain control and power. That's what at the end of the day, that's what that is. Moving right along, TMZ obtained additional footage that shows federal agents rolling up to Diddy's via water. The video shows armed agents standing on a boat, and they too appeared to be armed. Yeah, they came on the water and all. Them bitches wasn't playing. Diddy is in the crosshairs of law enforcement on both coasts of America as federal agents have descended on his Beverly Hills home. That's another one we did. We seen that video too. So let's move right along. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ that agents for Homeland Security are in the middle of raiding Diddy's properties. There are helicopters overhead, and local law enforcement is also present. Although we're told Homeland Security is the lead agency. Yeah, because it's on water, it's maritime. So yeah, they needed a twit card to go over there. Yeah, they had to have a twit card to get over there. He on that water, they had to have a twit card. There are law enforcement walking through the house with guns drawn, and there are people being questioned in the front of the house. We do not know if Diddy is present. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ his home on the East Coast is also being raided. We're told the home is in Miami. As well, I mean, Miami would be considered the East Coast. Florida is considered the East Coast, so that's probably what they got mixed up. As you know, there there have been multiple allegations in several civil suits against Diddy, including human trafficking, all of which he has denied. So, for the people that's watching, the reason I read this, a lot of people can't read. So, they say you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. Most niggas can't read and don't read. So that's why I read. I go over this and I read this. If anybody want to know why I do it like this, because some people can't read, so I read it for you. If you want something read, just come to my channel. I read it for you. Yeah, I know, because we got a lot of Floyd Mayweathers out there. You can't read a fucking cat in the hat. Back to it. We have reached out to Diddy's rep so far. No word back. You ain't gonna hear no word back. He gonna lawyer you up before you get any word back. So that's the breaking on Diddy, man. They took him in, but they ain't took him in yet. They didn't hit him with that bid to his properties and raided his properties. So Diddy, where are you? You coming out to play? Diddy, you coming out to play? I want to hear that bad boys. Where you at, Diddy? Diddy, they looking for you. Damn, Diddy. Man. You know you done fucked up, right? Saying, you know you done fucked up, right? Diddy, you know you done fucked up, right? Yeah, boy. Poor guy. They got it up for you, buddy. They got it up for you. Yeah, they got it up for you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Diddy. What to tell you, brother? Brother Love. Don't know what to tell you, brother Love. I knew it was coming, though. It's just only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. They coming for ya. It's a matter of time, man. That's how they do. They wait. They sit back in the cut and they wait. Sit back in the cut and wait. Yep. But like I say, they already said that they was cracking down and getting close to getting your monkey ass. And what do we have? Your monkey ass. Yes, sir. I just wanted to stop by and drop that on y'all. It was breaking news, and I just had to ease that one in real quick. I know a bunch of people gonna be covering this and running over it, trampling over it. But I would like to know y'all guys' take and what y'all think. Just drop it down in the comment if you don't mind, or like, share, subscribe, and share this with somebody. Tell somebody about Trilogy Vision and how we get down over here. We get down with the get down with the get down with the get down. So, with that being said, yeah, Puffy Home got raided, and man, it's not a good look for Diddy. And I do think that he's gonna actually really get some jail time, because they're study closing the walls in more and more on him every single day. He's been trying to stay quiet. He didn't even show up to none of them awards and stuff. He usually really out there, outgoing about everything and just showing his face and appearing and doing things. But man, the 2024, man, this year just fell. They've been had him hemmed up all this year, man. He didn't even come out the gate good. They say, which is a fact. However you start out is how you gonna finish. So he started out poorly this year, and the end of the year for him, it just ain't looking good. Don't look like shit. It ain't even spring yet. He ain't made it to the spring, and they on his ass deep. So if he ain't made it to the spring, just imagine what his summer gonna look like. We ain't gonna even talk about winter. Shh, we ain't gonna even go there. We not gonna even go to winter. Cause man, boy, the latest on Diddy. The latest on Diddy ain't pretty. Star Island, it's fucking Beverly Hills home. Man, bruh, you got to be careful, man. Gotta be careful. Got to be careful. Poor Diddy. Well, shit, not poor Diddy. When it was all good, when everything was on the up and up, and the things that he had going on, it wasn't. It was all fun and games. So this shit crazy though. I don't believe it. That's crazy, man. So let's move to this. I found another article here. So let's see. We're going to listen to what they got going on. They got a live raid going on. I want y'all to check this out. Let me get to it. There's a story going live right now. Let's see what we at. Alright, let me Jones. Alright, so
expected to make a statement, not expected to answer any questions after this gambling scandal comes out. The firing of his interpreter. Potentially hear more about this on Live Now from Fox coming up in just about an hour and a half. For now, let's slide away for another quick 2-minute break.
Them bring anything out. At one point, I can say, and when I keep saying that we didn't see them bring anything out, we did see them bring out what looked like a big plastic bin, but I don't know if that was something that they had brought in with them as far as possible tools that they needed. But that was the only thing that seemed to be out of the ordinary, and that did come out of that back house that we just showed you. This is that front area that you were just talking about moments ago. We watched as those Bearcats made their their way up Mapleton to actually do this raid. And then we watched as officers were getting through one of the pedestrian gates over here on this side of the property. Once they had breached that, well, then they opened those gates up right there, and those armored vehicles rolled in. They were very quick in whatever they needed to do to seize that home. That garage door went up very quickly, and it doesn't seem to be actually a garage inside there. We've been trying to peek in with the camera every now and then. It looks like there's a large table inside there, so that might have been an office area or some sort of staging area, and that's where we believe that most of the people that we see in custody came from. At least that's where we watched them exit this building with the officers early on when this raid was just starting. As it stands right now, you've got plenty of these armored law enforcement still walking the property. You see them walking in pairs. A lot less of those weapons out, so they are less on the defensive as it would be. And you can see them just kind of making their way through that property. But I can tell you, every home that's on here, meaning there's 3 major homes. This one right here, there's a couple of officers still inside there. We know at least one officer is still inside here. So they're still standing guard. So whatever it is that they're doing, this isn't over by any means, and I think this is probably just getting underway. They just want to make sure that all these buildings are secure, and if there is anybody on this property, that they are in custody before they actually start whatever it is that they're looking for. But again, as you mentioned, very well planned, very quickly executed, and of course a number of officers out here. I couldn't even venture to say how many of these armored officers that are on the property. You can see them right there, and this is just a small group. That was also one of the things. As soon as they made their way into that pedestrian gate, the first thing they did was open up all those doors on that Range Rover, and then made their way into this portion of the home. And that's that garage that we've been talking about. That garage door went up very quickly, and of all the people that we've seen come out of the building, that's where they all came from. They walked them out, put them in this little corner right here, and that's where they've been questioning them ever since.
Another ladder, as you were mentioning, a couple of ladders on site as part of this raid. I don't know what they're looking for or where they're trying to reach, but yeah, we did see somebody carrying a ladder, the second one on the property right now. It does seem like there are 3 different buildings on this property, the main mansion, and then 2 guest houses, for lack of better knowledge in terms of what they are exactly used for. But yes, 2 smaller type houses on the lot as well. And of course, the pool right there in the middle with the grass lawn. So clearly, yeah, this is going to take time, and that is why probably there are so many personnel on site to go through everything and do the search that they are conducting. We, again, don't know a lot of information in terms of what evidence they're trying to collect, who they're looking for, or why they made the raid to begin with. But again, this could possibly be involving the sex trafficking investigation. And again, when we get more details, of course, we'll bring it to you. But this is going to be a while. You see the Department of Homeland Security officers right there in that Bearcat. You know, this could be phase 2 of what to do now, what they're searching for, and making sure they have all their information they need when they conduct a raid like this and go through the process of going through that property. It is a big mansion indeed, owned by Bad Boy Films and one of Sean Combs's children. So again, this happening just about 20 minutes ago at this point. We do have video from earlier, if we could show you that, and we have been showing some of that to you in a bigger box. As a juxtaposed to the live pictures you're seeing right now. But when they made entry, it was very methodical, and they did have many different law enforcement officials here as a unified operation, and a lot of them making sure that those entry points are secure and they're able to make entry all together with very, very little use of force. So clearly it is a process whenever you conduct a raid like this. So again, we do have Haley Winslow on the ground as well. She is pushed back to a certain perimeter though, so they're very differing vantage points that we can see. But if we do look at the ground shot there, you see law enforcement on the ground there as well. Haley, anything changing where you're at right now?
Just a lot more people showing up on scene. It's been pretty hectic out here. Yeah, this all unfolded about 25 minutes ago, and I apologize that you couldn't hear me clearly earlier. It's very loud, especially we've got, of course, Sky Fox showing you all of this from overhead. But basically, it all started about 25 minutes ago. 30 or so law enforcement vehicles that were from the Department of Homeland Security, LASD, of course, LAPD assisting in this as well. And they pulled up to this home that's registered to Bad Boy Films, part of Bad Boy Entertainment, one of P. Diddy's companies. And the home's also registered to one of his daughters. So they basically all got out of the 3 Bearcats. They went in. They were obviously armed. They pulled a few people out, as Stu was telling you up in Sky Fox. But we're hearing that P. Diddy may not even be here. We, of course, haven't seen him. We understand he may have flown on a private jet to New York, which I'm sure kind of threw off their plan, although this was very strategically organized. So I would now, whether he is in New York or not, that he is likely in custody if he is involved in this. But again, we are hearing that this is involving P. Diddy and sex trafficking charges. To what extent or with what details, we don't yet know. But of course, we will be on top of this all day. It's been, it was pretty hectic when we all rolled in. We were kind of right behind the line of law enforcement vehicles as this was all unfolding. And we're since obviously behind this crime scene tape here in Holmby Hills. This is off Mapleton Drive here in the 200 block, where they are in front of this home that involves P. Diddy, and we'll, of course, bring you the very latest as soon as we get it. It's a very active scene. You can see the officers actually right now. This is law enforcement officers from the Department of Homeland Security coming out right now. They're actually walking down the street in uniform. If you see them right now, Sandra.
I
marching
do.
down the road.
Yes, from your vantage point, do you see them holding anything? Are they taking out any information? I can't really tell from where I am.
Just the drone.
Tony, can you see?
Just brought out their law enforcement drone. They look like they're putting that away now.
Yeah. Okay. They have
Tony Butita, our photographer. He's zoomed in a little bit better, so he's got a little bit better view. But yeah, it looks like it's their drone.
Okay, and we are hearing from TMZ at this point that P. Diddy, Sean Combs' home in Miami is being raided as well. Again, TMZ reporting that his home in Miami is reportedly being raided right now as well. So clearly a link in all of this, but as far as more information in terms of what they're looking for, why this raid is being conducted, still more questions than answers at this point. We're looking for answers and more clarity. So we're hoping to get more of that as this raid continues, but they will be there for some time. And Stu, any more movement you're seeing from up there in Sky Fox?
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw. In any type of these situations, it really is, you know, you've got these armored officers that go in first, but I would venture to say the investigators or the people that know what they're looking for probably still out there on the streets, and they're waiting for that all clear to make sure that there is absolutely nobody on this property. And again, this is just a precaution. They don't want to have any kind of issues. Maybe somebody's hiding still, maybe just scared. And it, you know, doesn't have to be nefarious, and just because they don't know what's going on, and they just don't want to have somebody pop out of a closet or a bathroom or any one of these rooms while they're doing that investigation, and then other problems can ensue. So that's basically why we're seeing that large presence. They keep walking through there, and like you mentioned, this is an extremely large home, and probably with many rooms and little secret areas. So they want to make sure that everything is cleared before they allow those investigators in to start doing that investigation, whatever it is that they're looking for. But you can see a number of those officers making their way back into that major, this is the big main house, as it would be, making their way back inside. And I would venture to say that they're going to just go through every one of those rooms and make sure that there is nobody in there. I don't think they're those guys that we're seeing, guys and gals that we're seeing in those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect to whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention, thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a sex trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are two sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while, and as Haley mentioned, with her shot down on the ground right there, more people are coming to your area, Haley.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly media at this point. We were the first ones here on scene, but yeah, since there's probably a dozen different media agencies. Yeah, it looks like his homes on both coasts are being raided. We still have not gotten word on exactly where P. Diddy is, if he is in fact in New York right now or in Los Angeles. And of course, yeah, we haven't seen him here in Holmby Hills. This is right off of Sunset and Beverly Glen. And it all unfolded, I would say, about 30 minutes ago. They're at his home here. They're also at his home in Miami. Of course, it's a little bit calmer, I would say, than it was about 20 minutes ago when it all happened. The guns that were drawn earlier have been since put away. It looks like they just put away their drone. But, of course, doing a thorough job of checking the home for any kind of details that they can come up with related to these allegations against sex trafficking. As you said, Sandra, there's several lawsuits against him for these allegations, all of which he has denied. So we will have to wait and see. Of course, and everybody's interested in the details of what how he's connected to these latest allegations.
And from your vantage
we will bring
point,
the very latest as soon as, I'm sorry?
Yeah, from your vantage point, Haley, does it look like some authorities are leaving the scene right now? They're done, or not? Is that not the case?
No, it looks like more are coming. I think what you're seeing is just the vehicles moving to a different location. We're kind of at the bottom of the hill, but if you go up a little bit farther, some of the vehicles that you saw down here earlier have since kind of gone to the other side of the hill. This is obviously a very prestigious neighborhood. I said earlier, Humphrey Bogart's former house, I think, is next door to P. Diddy's in the 200 block here of Mapleton and Holmby Hills off of Sunset near Beverly Glen. So the vehicles have basically just moved forward. You're seeing a lot more of those law enforcement officers from the Department of Homeland Security, though, back here on the street in Mapleton since they've come out of the home after they've done their thorough investigating inside that beautiful home that belongs to P. Diddy, to Sean Combs. So I don't think they have any intention, Sandra, on going anywhere anytime soon. And overhead, you can see law enforcement helicopters and, of course, Stu up there in Sky Fox.
Thank you so much, Haley, for that perspective on the ground right there in front of that Holmby Hills mansion. Stu, up in Sky Fox, it looks like, yes, there are some more law enforcement, but in different attire. Should I say suits instead of body armor?
Definitely, and you know, and we all know how that works. The suits are going to be the investigators and probably the ones that are running the show. And again, I still think that they are just waiting for that green light for them to be allowed to make their way inside the property and to make their way to the areas that I would venture to say that they probably are pretty specific. I don't think they're just going in randomly. And again, this is just a guess. I don't think they're going in randomly, just going through everybody's stuff inside there. They probably have an area that they know or an office that they're going to be looking into or some computers that they might want to physically get their hands on. And that's what they're waiting for right now to make their way inside this property. This, like you said, very beautiful home out there in the Homely Hills area. And they just waiting to get the all clear to allow them inside while these officers that we see right there in the tactical gear, well, their job is to make sure that everything is safe for them to go in. Now, they don't probably... And again, I just want to be clear. It's like nobody's thinking that there's booby traps or some kind of sniper inside the home. That's not what they're thinking at all. It's probably more along the lines of they want to make sure that everybody is outside of the home because they don't want to have somebody stepping out or coming out later on and, surprising or catching people off guard. That's not what they want. And right now, you can see Sandra, you've been saying there's a large number of people out here. I would venture to say, as far as the officers go, I would probably put this group closer to 100. Not just what we're seeing right here. This is just one group of many that have made their way out here to this Homely Hills area. And as far as the suits that we were talking about, that's part of the group right there. But there's some other ones as well, younger ones that were basically leading the charge. And that's right there, actually. Perfect timing. And it looks like they're making their way over towards the home. They might be the first ones to make their way in to start that investigation process or figure out where we're going to look, what we're looking for. And then later on, the suits will make their way in as well. But this, like you said, is going to be a very long process out here. And this is just the very, very beginning. And the folks that they had taken into custody, they've moved them out of the area right now. And again, I wouldn't say that they are arrested. We don't know that for a fact. They took them into custody. A few of them still had cuffs on. Some of them didn't. So maybe this was a division of, these are people that we know work here. These are people that may be associated with Sean Combs, or Bad Boy Entertainment. So it's one of those type of situations. And until they know who they are, they're just going to keep them in custody and possibly just let them go later on. And I don't believe the word arrested has been used out here as of yet, but again, still very active situation, and of course that is a huge house, and they've got a lot of rooms to clear before they allow those investigators in.
Yeah, we talk about the process of bringing this many law enforcement officials to the scene to have a raid like this and conduct a raid and make entry into a Homely Hills mansion that's owned by a prominent celebrity and their business. So clearly, this is something that doesn't happen just overnight. Law enforcement officials do have to have their evidence ready. They have to make sure every T is crossed in order to make entry into a home like this for an investigation. So when we talk about and see these kinds of raids happen or having them be conducted, it kind of shows that they do have enough evidence that their investigation is to a certain point where they have made a search warrant and they've gotten all of the evidence they need to have a search warrant, that they have to establish that a crime was possibly committed and there's evidence of probable cause and a crime that has taken place. So all of these things, they have to meet a threshold before law enforcement can just come together like this and approach a property and make entry. So we're seeing that here at Homely Hills and also in Miami, where they are searching Sean Combs' Miami home as well. So again, this doesn't just happen overnight. This is a process that they've been working on for quite some time to make sure that they have enough evidence to be able to conduct a raid like this, especially with so many law enforcement agencies involved, investigators involved, and you see just personnel involved on location right there. And you do see a number of people. This is going to be an active situation for quite some time. Again, we don't know what they're looking for. We don't know what the interest is right now. We can only presume that it is part of a sex trafficking investigation. investigation. Those are multiple lawsuits that Sean Combs have been facing this year alone, allegations that he denies, but clearly this could be all part of the process here. But again, law enforcement does just not go in willy-nilly into a home and conduct a raid like this unless they get the necessary evidence they need to get that search warrant to acquire entry as well. So if we could take a look from Haley's point of view, it does seem like there are more individuals gearing up, or maybe more investigators on the scene from the ground there, Haley.
Hey, Sandra, yes, we're actually trying to get an interview lined up, obviously live with the Department of Homeland Security. We had a lady come down here just a minute ago and give her card, so trying to contact her so we can, of course, get some official details from her, because everything that we're getting is basically behind the scenes from our law enforcement sources here. So basically, we don't have anything new yet. We're still just waiting to kind of figure out exactly what happened. We know, of course, P. Diddy's homes on both coasts have been raided. You can see some more officers coming out of his property right now. Just trying to see if I could see the lady who we're hoping to get the interview with, and she's just messaging me back, so I've got to send her an email for the request first. So we're working on that to get you some more details. But yeah, it's still very active on scene, just more and more vehicles showing up. This is largely, most of the law enforcement officers here, Sandra, are, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, and then we also have LASD and LAPD here as well. So as soon as I can get anything official on camera, we'll come back and let you know.
Definitely. I know what it's like on the ground right there. You're dealing with a lot of officials, trying to get some answers, trying to talk to people, and of course it is very difficult to do two things at once. So we will let you get to work right there on the ground. Let's go up to Stu again. As I was mentioning the procedure of this, and you've covered so many of these types of stories, you've been overhead when these raids have happened. This isn't a process that just happens overnight. Clearly they are looking for something, they have enough evidence, and they were able to get a search warrant before they could even do or conduct a raid like this.
Oh, you definitely, Sandra, and what you're talking about really kind of shows exactly what you're trying to point out, that this didn't just happen overnight. This wasn't just an accusation and they came and, knocked down the doors and started tearing up the house. This was something that's an ongoing investigation. Lawyers, attorneys, and district attorneys, they all have to sign off on this. They have to look this over. Judges have to make that decision as well, and nobody wants to be on the end of a wrongful seizure. So, of course, they needed to show evidence that there is a reason for this type of force and for these officers to make their way into this home. And then again, of course, the world we live in today, all of these officers that are showing up, they all know that, we are everybody's under a watchful eye nowadays. So they made every effort to do this as quickly and as less destructive as possible. We watched them trying to get through one of those side gates. That pedestrian gate was giving them a little bit of an issue, but in the end, they got in there, and after that, they made their way in very quickly. We didn't see any doors being smashed or things getting kicked in. It was basically a lot of opening up and just letting that garage door, somebody got in there and they opened up that garage door, and or possibly the people inside were curious what was going on and they opened up that garage door. But again, the forceful entry part of it, it really truly was just in a little bit here in that side gate. Everything else was very quick and with etiquette would be the best way to say it, actually. Yeah. They went in and they just did what they needed to do. And again, the reason why they're still there, I can tell you, it's not like a television show where they're pulling out drawers and dumping out clothes and just trashing the place. They just want to make sure that there are no other people inside that building that may still be scared, hiding, or having a problem. And that as soon as that word is given, which I'm sure is going to come shortly, because we already saw a couple of the groups making their way in, less armed. So they're making their way in. They're going to start looking for, then of course, even in that, the warrant, they're going to have a list of things that they are able to look at, able to take. It isn't just a random search. They actually have to go in and actually find things that they believe have information or evidence that could create a guilty or innocent situation for Sean Combs. So at any rate, this is still very ongoing. very preliminary. But again, we do see a large force out there, which, like you're trying to say, or what I believe you did say, is that this is a warranted search. And of course, they are here, and they are definitely looking for specific pieces of information. What they are, we don't know. We may never know. But right now, that search is definitely ongoing.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, we've covered so many of these different types of raids. Obviously, not always at a celebrity mansion like this in Holmby Hills, but clearly sometimes you see them having to forcefully enter a property and seize evidence, and it doesn't always go so smoothly. And it was, in fact, very smooth the way they gained entry into this property. And after they figured out that side entrance, they were able to make entry. But it's not like they show in the movies, as you mentioned, Stu, right? They weren't battering down doors and destroying property. This is very methodical, and in terms of many stories we've covered like this, it was a very easy entry, and they were able to access the property and get on site. So clearly, they're ready for anything. Whatever they're going to be met with, you don't know, and that is why they make sure that they are safe in numbers, that they're armored, and that is why you see such a big force out there, because you never know what kind of emotion you're going to be met with.
Definitely, and emotion is really what plays a lot of it, and that's one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, right now, that was the gate that they were having all that trouble. They're actually looking at that actual door and propping it open, but that was the door that was giving them trouble. And I was trying to figure out if that is actually maybe like a private entrance for that back house. It does actually look like it. It seems like, you know, if you're staying there, that's how you get in and out without going through the actual house itself. But you can see they still have personnel there on scene. Every house, there's 3 properties that I would say on this big piece of property. They all have some sort of somebody there, just making sure that there isn't anything being taken or anything moving in and out, and or another person in that area. But that main house, there's still a number of folks that like armored personnel that we've seen go in and have not seen come out. But there's some of those ones that are not wearing the gear, and those are that first group that made their way in. They were here originally. They came with the armored trucks. They did not make their way into the property. They waited outside, and now they are actually making their way to that front door, which shows you that their progress is being made. And of course, we keep keeping an eye on the as we call them, and it is what they are, the suits down there. I'm sure those are the ones that are pretty much running the show, or where all the evidence is going to go to in the end. They are still outside, so that shows you that they're going to be waiting. I would venture to say when they find something, those are the guys that are going to make their way in and actually looking at and taking things from this home. But right now, that's still, that process, I wouldn't even think has actually even started.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to take a lot of time. That is a huge mansion to begin with, and then it depends on what they're looking for. It could be as small as a hard drive or as big as boxes and boxes full of evidence or information they're trying to collect and gather. And where all of that information is also the tricky part. I mean, think about going into a stranger's home. You don't know where they put things, and so it could be very hidden. So this whole process, it could take a lot of time in terms of them finding what they made entry for. So this is a methodical, lengthy process. And again, this is taking place right here in Holmby Hills, as well as his Miami home. And I'm sure law enforcement officials from both sides in Miami and LA are certainly talking to each other as they go through this as well. But still no sign of Sean Combs himself. We don't know where he is. It's not clear if they're looking for him. He may be in New York, as Haley was mentioning on the ground there. But clearly, this was in all a very peaceful raid as they made entry, and right now as they are making their way in and out of the property as they conduct their search. But a search that is just beginning, as you see those suits, the investigators taking their time, making sure everything is done properly and methodically in terms of what they're looking for at this point. Again, we have a lot of questions that we just don't know the answers to at this point. We do have someone on the line right now, Hal Kemper. thank you so much for joining us. And if you can make light of what we're looking at in terms of Homeland Security making entry into the Holmby Hills mansion of Sean Combs.
Sandra, this is a Homeland Security investigations that appears to be on site. What they're probably looking for is, well, I should say in general, they look at human trafficking and sex trafficking being a component of that. And of course, there's been some rather big civil suit stuff that's taken place, but also the New York case where the statute of limitations basically had been rescinded, allowing them to look back many years in this case. Part of it was there have been allegations that he was drugging young women, so that there was which certainly implies that it was rape that had taken place at some point. But I think what HSI is probably looking at is the interstate aspects of it, if there was any online activity that could have taken place. And that's usually where HSI would have a jurisdictional interest. Homeland Security Investigations being part of the Department of Homeland Security, looking at the interstate side, mostly online, and whatever took place across state lines. And of course, he travels all over the place. So I'm sure they're looking at him potentially transporting women around the country, and whether that was tied to a larger criminal activity.
Yeah, definitely Homeland Security involved in any interstate, as you mentioned, and international criminal activity here. So what exactly do you think everyone is looking for at this point? We saw such a large number of law enforcement make entry.
Well, it's a combination of both local and federal. And from what I understand, the local law enforcement has the specific lead at each one of these locations, with the federal federal investigators coming in with them in concert. What they're probably looking for is any evidence that they can gather. Certainly any images, pictures, video, anything online. I've no doubt that they're going in and gathering up any electronic media, to include any laptops, any flash drives, anything that he might have that might support whatever allegations, whatever reasonable suspicion that they have that led to these search warrants. Just to get a search warrant like this requires a certain substantial legal barrier has to be, or legal argument or legal litmus test has to be met just to get them to sign off. Particularly knowing with somebody with means like this, that if they go into their home, they're going to be met with some very capable lawyers on the defendant's part to challenge what was ever done, and everything they do there is going to be challenged. So you can imagine, not only did they have to work with the district attorney and potentially assistant U.S. attorneys in arranging this, but they also are being very careful on how they're gathering any evidence, realizing that just about everything they do on site will potentially be challenged in court by his attorneys.
Absolutely. And speaking of his attorneys, we did reach out for comment. We have not yet heard back. Obviously, we want to hear his side. For Sean Combs' part, he has denied any allegations regarding sex trafficking and any investigation into that. But yeah, this could take a lot of time in terms of collecting that hard drive and flash drives and any computers they may find. Like I was mentioning before, Hal, it's very difficult to know where someone would have that or would hide that if they were trying to hide evidence. And we're looking at a big mansion here. Before we get back to you, Hal, let's go to Haley on the ground there.
Hey, Sandra, yes, we just got that statement from the Department of Homeland Security that I was trying to get for you guys about 10 minutes ago. It doesn't say a whole lot, but it says, this is attributed to Homeland Security Investigations. Earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. So nothing really that we haven't already told you. Here on the scene, on the ground, a lot of the law enforcement officers with Homeland Security have gone up the hill. You can see one of those big command vehicles coming out, one of those police vehicles. In the meantime, behind us, several of his friends, they've identified themselves as, have been trying to get through the crime scene to get to the house. But of course, LAPD not letting them through. We've tried to get comment from them on camera to find out if they have any more information about what's going on, but they haven't been able to they don't want to provide us any information, I should say. And just in case you're just joining us, we have homes of P. Diddy being raided on both coasts, Miami and his home here in Holmby Hills.
So, Haley, just to clarify, in that statement, it didn't mention Sean Combs, correct? Or anything?
It doesn't, but we have confirmation from multiple law enforcement sources that this does involve Sean Combs or P. Diddy. But no, this statement, I'll read it one more time, says, earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from both HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners.
All right.
We'll provide further information as it becomes available. Of course, we're trying to get them to talk to us on camera, but they said, the lady in particular who sent me the statement says she's not allowed to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, not really clarifying a whole lot, though, but clearly understandable because right now, maybe they're not in position to divulge any more information. So let's bring you Hal Kempfer here again from Homeland Security. Thank you so much for your expertise in all this. I don't know if you heard that statement, but didn't really say anything except that an investigation is underway in Miami and here. So clearly not stating who it involves or what the charges are.
It doesn't, and they might be crime scenes. I should clarify, I'm not from Homeland Security, but I work in Homeland Security, and I've worked with Homeland Security investigations over many years. Very familiar with not only the agency, but also a lot of the individuals, a lot of the people who work there, to include here in Los Angeles, especially. What they're probably looking at are the two residences, one in New York, one in Los Angeles. And I haven't seen the documentation, but if it doesn't name Sean Combs by name, it's probably because there's been allegations that criminal activity had taken place tied to sex trafficking at these locations. So what they're doing is they're looking at the locations themselves and investigating them as potential crime scenes. And of course, with that, I'm sure the scope is such that they can look just about anywhere, gather up any materials. They're probably gathering up any electronic materials. They're probably doing things like imaging the place, taking a lot of pictures and stuff that may be used later. Could be in reference to what witnesses say on the stand, that they may look at various pictures of the locations themselves to help refresh their memory while they're talking about various activities that may have taken place or alleged to have taken place. So there's a lot of reasons why they might not focus on him per se. Also, there's another thing too, is he runs a fairly large organization. The fact that they don't name him might mean that they're looking at other activities that could have taken place within his immediate, entourage or his organization that involve these properties. So one can't rule out anything at this point because we don't know a lot.
Sure, and obviously this is just their statement to the press at this point. So what the actual legal documents say and what the statement they gave us is very, very different, let's be clear. So we're sometimes, not privy to all of those details and information until it becomes available at a later date. But you were mentioning the whole search process. We are seeing so many law enforcement officials, investigators, and this is basically 3 properties on this entire, or 3 homes, I should say, buildings on this entire property in Holmby Hills we're talking about. How long is it going to take for them to go through it? Do they have a time limit? I mean, essentially, some people are going to come back into the home, right, at some point. So how does that all play out?
I'm sure if you were to ask them, they'd say it's going to take as long as it takes. These are huge properties. You can imagine looking through one home takes a lot of time, but when you have 3 very large buildings with a lot of different rooms, various different levels on those homes. Also, they're going to be looking at every nook and cranny. They'll be looking anything that's subsurface in the home. They'll be looking in basically everywhere they can. They could be using a variety of sensor systems to find out if there's any hidden compartments, safes, things like that, and walls that aren't readily apparent. There could be a lot of different things they're looking for, and they may have dogs there too, looking for various different things as well. But they're probably looking for more where stuff may be held. I would imagine with that, and of course anything tied to any of the allegations. We don't know. But certainly the fact that they're there indicates that they probably had, some witnesses say that certain things happened or certain things were there when they were there. And they're probably trying to verify if those things are in fact there, if that what they were told is correct. So there's probably just a lot of things that they're working through, checking off a list of stuff. And by the way, they may be looking on the grounds themselves. There could be stuff that's not necessarily in the buildings that are on the grounds. And of course, they'd be looking at that as well. I imagine it's going to take quite some time with the property this big for them to work through all of the potential spaces and places where various materials could be held.
Hal, thank you so much. We will have much more on Fox 11 at 5. And of course, if we get more information, we'll break in once again. And now we resume to our original program.
Hey, Scissor family. All right, so Craft here now. Now from Fox, so you have been watching.
Okay, y'all. So we wrap that up with Diddy. Man, it is over. So yes, he will be going to court. He will have his day in court. That's without a doubt. For them to raise your property, to go through all of that, these people are really, really, really got something on you. But me personally, I think it's more than just the sex trafficking allegations. They just use that to go onto these properties. I think it got more to do with a lot of murders, allegedly. Me personally, I think they trying to get him time to this. Not saying that's not part of it, that's which it is, because we got enough witnesses. It's all about what you can prove at the end of the day in court. It ain't about what you do. But I do believe that they're using this tactic to tie him to murders that allegedly he was tied into. A lot of people that he allegedly got knocked off. So I think that is the biggest thing that they trying to take him down for. Because one thing about these people, when they run up in your shit like that, they got all the evidence. They got facts. They got the paperwork. They got the video. They got the witness. They got 99.9999999% that they're gonna convict your ass criminally for these charges. But that's all I have for y'all tonight. I just thought I'd break that in for you, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in and watching. For the people that came on and that's watching, could y'all drop some comments? I love to know what are your thoughts and what you think about this P. Diddy situation, and tell somebody about the channel. Share it, post it on your social media or something. I mean, this story here is, man, it came out the blue. We all knew eventually something like this will come about, but hey, man, we ain't know it was gonna come that quick. This here came quick. So I just want to tell everybody, keep going up. Peace, love, prosperity. Keep yourself in a positive mode. Keep going up. And the new slang is no Diddy. So until next time, Trilogy Vision. We'll see y'all. Thank y'all guys for tuning in. I love y'all. Keep watching. Keep supporting the channel. And just stay in a good space. Peace. You dig?